Hello and good morning, it's Phil Thatch, and today I'm at the Piney Falls State Natural Area. I'm here with Ron Durant, and we're going to do some hiking and waterfall photography and whatever else we can find. Found a beautiful flower right here at the trailhead, which is really just a pull-off on the side of a one-lane road, and Ron is figuring out what it is.
Identify. Wild potato vine.
Wild potato vine. I'll show you a picture right now.
Wild potato vine. See it right there.
This was my first time out with the RF 100-400, the really light and small telephoto lens that's also good for semi-macro work, and my plan was to use it to make photographs while I was hiking on the trail, but we were in a hurry to go to 3 waterfalls, so we didn't really stop that much. But I did like this picture of this beautiful flower on the wild potato vine. It was kind of sunny when I left the house this morning. Sun was rising, not many clouds, but now that I'm here, which is an hour's drive, it's pretty good and cloudy. So hopefully when we get to the waterfalls, there will be good light. The trail was pretty wide, kind of almost like a boulevard trail, as my sister's husband would call it, for a while. Then we came to a split. We decided to go left, which takes you to the bottom of the falls. And now the trail is quite narrow, quite rocky, quite rooty, and quite steep. Trail splits right here. Down that way is the Lower Piney Falls, and where Ron is already heading over here is Upper. All right, look at all this rock climbing possibilities here. Definitely not for me. I wouldn't get 6 inches off the ground, but that's a pretty cool looking rock face that somebody much more athletic and talented than me could climb. We have just gotten to where we can see the waterfall. It looks like it's flowing really good, and from this distance, it's really pretty. Hopefully there's good light around it. For this shot of the 80-foot tall Upper Piney Falls, I used the EFS 10-18 ultra-wide lens. As a matter of fact, I used this lens on all the rest of the photos in the video. And this particular shot is a 3-shot stitched vertical panorama at 1/2 a second. Back over here on the side where the trail comes down right up there, and making some shots. I'm in these beautiful plants. I've got my polarizer on, which is making their colors really rich, and making some shots from here. I probably should have taken the time to put a 3-stop neutral density on, because I either have a good silky waterfall or no blinkies, but not both. So I took a bunch of shots with no blinkies, and the waterfall's not quite silky enough, and I may combine them together. I don't know, we'll see. So that is what I did to make this photo. There were 10 shots at 1/8 of a second each, and I combined them together and put them in Photoshop in a stack, and I blended them, taking the mean, which that gave the waterfall a nice silky look, like it was a 1 1/4 second shot instead of an 8/10 of a second shot. But when I did that, the plants had moved around a lot during those 8 shots. So I then stacked a 1 of the 1/8 of a second shots on top of that photo, and then I painted in the silky waterfall from the photo below it. And that's how I ended up with this shot, one of my favorites of the day. Okay, we've made it out of the Piney Falls area, Upper Piney Falls area, and now we're at the split of the trail that goes to Lower Piney Falls. So, and this is someplace that Ron has never been. I've never been to either one of these. And it's a pretty steep, let me show it to you. Pretty steep grade down there that we got to make it down. But I think we'll make it. This little cascade is just above Lower Piney Falls. From what I understand from Ron, that right over there where this kind of falls away to nothing is the top of Lower Piney Falls, which to get to, according to Ron's sources, you gotta hike across the creek and up that mountain and around past that cliff and come down over there, which we may or may not do. I can't tell you, but right now, this beautiful cascade area is what we're gonna photograph. I've been working on a shot right there of this little section. This reminds me of a small version of Rutledge Falls, which is really beautiful. But look what I'm sitting right at the top of. That's a nice looking falls right there. I don't know if we'll get down there or not, but it's pretty down there, it looks like. I've been working from down here, or I guess you could also call it up here. But I've been working from down here kind of at the lower part of this cascade, and I don't know if you can see, but Ron is kind of up a shelf or two from me, and he's working on the upper part. And I really thought I was going to love the photos that I made from this area just above Lower Piney Falls, but I didn't like them that much. However, I did like this one little selfie I made sitting on a dry rock with water all around me, and I used the Bluetooth remote for this one. F13. And look at my feet. Look at my shoes. I am in the creek. And so is my camera. This is an awesome spot. Well, we are making our way back out of here. We've come up the really steep part that I showed you before, and then this is a really steep part that you get to before you get to where the trail splits, and one goes to Upper and one goes to Lower Piney. Now we're back where the trail kind of levels out for a while, way above the waterfall below. Kind of thick right here, but beautiful. All this is mountain laurel. We have made it back to the trailhead alive and well, and I'm still hanging out with Ron. He's taken me to another waterfall. We've come to the Stinging Fork Falls State Natural Area, and we're going to start hiking now. Look, it's a motorcycle. Ron tells me that this entire area used to be trees. You can see where it has been logged, and also the area up by where you park has been logged. I can actually smell fresh cut trees. We're in a steep downhill section now after walking basically flat for a long way. There's a lot of stairs, and they've got screws in the top of the stairs and other things on there to make them less slick, which is pretty smart. Now the trail is a very narrow, rocky, rooty jungle track, and as I walk along you can occasionally see a trail blaze like that one. So we know we're going in the right direction. There was one place that Ron said looked like a shortcut to get down to the falls, and that he had taken it before, and it wasn't very safe for hiking. So we followed the trailblazes and are still on the trail now. We've seen lots of millipedes, and here is another one. We've made it down to where we're right by the water, but now we have to kind of backtrack and get to the waterfall. But this is a really beautiful area down here. Lots of big boulders and mossy trees. But you can definitely tell this is a park. We got a trail blaze, a sign showing you which way to go. So here we go. I made it down here to the bottom, Ron and I have, and when we got down here, there was a lot of sun on the waterfall, and now we're just about to get a cloud. So I'm going to take my shot with hopefully even light. I have two photos to show you from this waterfall known as Stinging Fork Falls. It's rated at 60 feet tall, but you can't really tell how big it is because I really wanted to have the beautiful pool of water in the foreground, so it kind of makes the waterfall look smaller than it actually is. And I decided I wanted to try to really slick out this pool, so I've put a 10-stop on, and now I'm in bulb mode. The sky keeps changing. It's kind of partly cloudy today, and the clouds are blowing through pretty quickly. When the sun comes out, I want to stop taking pictures and go swimming in this pool. And then when the cloud covers up the sun, I want to make a really long exposure using the 10-stop neutral density. Only trouble is I need to make an exposure for about 2 minutes or a minute and a half, something like that, and I can't get a cloud that lasts that long. So then the sun will come out and I'll be just about to jump in the water, and then we'll get a cloud and I'll go back to making a picture. And while I made this clip, I was making a picture and the sun just came back out, so I have to stop. I had to be patient for that one. Finally got a cloud that was long enough to let me do a 2-minute shot. Woo! Let's take a look at that now. This is the photo that Heather said was her very favorite of the day. I kind of am torn between this one and mine from Upper Piney Falls that I worked so hard on. So this is 121 seconds, 2 minutes and 1 second exposure, and I really love the way it turned out. I don't like, though, that with any camera, not a Canon R7 exclusively, I used to do really long exposures with my Nikon Z6, and both of those cameras, and probably every other one, gives you some extreme long exposure noise that's kind of annoying. I think in the future, if I want this look, I'll probably use the exposure mean technique that I did earlier in this video and maybe do 8 15-second shots and combine them together to get this look. But really turned out cool. Beautiful stinging fork falls, 60 feet tall with a 2-minute exposure, slicking the water out really nicely. Well, this is an awesome waterfall. It's kind of tricky to get here. A lot of boulders to scamper over, and although there are there's also a lot of stairs, so maybe I'm just being a wimp, but to me it's a little bit tricky to get here, but it's beautiful. And since I've been doing waterfall photography, this is the first time I've gone for a swim where I was actually in water deeper than I could touch, and that was a lot of fun. And man, that water's cold. So Ron said that it took us 45 minutes to hike here, and that was going downhill. This place is cool. There's so many beautiful places just an hour or two drive from my house in Chattanooga. Really fortunate to live in such a beautiful area. We made it up all those stairs and all those zigzags and all those rocks and roots, and now we're on almost level ground. So I think we're going to survive it. If we hadn't had a heart attack yet, we're not likely to have one on the easy part.
Close.
Well, Ron, I really appreciate you. Are you tired?
Oh man.
Me too.
I'm whipped.
I really appreciate you taking me to all these waterfalls. This is the third video, but we made them all today. All 3 of the waterfalls that you've seen us going to, all was done in one day.
In about 6 hours.
About 6 hours of craziness.
Crazy.
So anyway, thank you.
Welcome.
I called Ron up or texted him and said, hey, you want to go to Waterfall Thursday?
Yeah.
You really going to go? Yep. Okay, let's go. Anyway, thanks to you for watching. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.